Okay, this lesson is going to be for setting up a permit amendment application. Here is a permit, an existing permit in which the building permit has already been issued. Any modification to an already issued permit requires a building permit application. And with that said, if the changes are minor in nature, I do have the discretion of simply approving them as revisions. But in this case, the applicant did submit a permit amendment application. They submitted one in writing. I've loaded that up into the documents. So we're going to open that file. Okay, so this is for the 700 and quarter. It does have an additional cost of $1,225. That will be important as we fill out the amendment application or the amendment review route. Okay, so this is going to eliminate doors and frames, eliminate island casework, furnish drywall soffit to accept soffit, revise layout to coffee room. So let's go back here. We're going to create a route. That route is going to be an amendment to permit building. Most of these items we do not need. The permit number generated the building permit because it's the only building permit available. So we're going to unclick subdivision. We do not need MSD approval. We do not need zoning approval. We do not need city manager approval. We do need permit amendment and final review. We do not need planning and zoning plan review or floodplain. So we have 4 items on the route that we do need. I'm going to turn them all or assign them all to myself. And we will save. Oops. Now let's look at the review route that we just created. Essentially, this is going to be like a typical review route. The initial review, we would take a look at all the attached documents, make sure that every bit of information is included on the documents. It's a little bit easier than setting up an initial one. I've already looked at this. I know I can mark this as completed, and we will save that. Now, here's where we get to the biggest difference, which is we need to fill out this permit amendment portion. So this is going to look a little bit different in that there's some information here that we typically don't have. Application request amendment 2. So we're going to put building permit. The project type is an alteration. Now it's going to ask for a description. So we're going to go back to this, eliminate doors and frames. Go back and check, eliminate island casework. furnish and install drywall soffit. And lastly, revise layout of coffee room. Okay, so we've got that. The contractor we will put in this case, I know the contractor to be VSP Construction, which matches the initial permit, so we're going to type in the first letters of that. Bobby Prinster is the contact, so we will select that. Is this permit amendment received plan commission? It is not required, so we'll put it as non-applicable. Here's an important part, additional fees. Now, if it was no additional fees or less, we would put down 0. So let's look at what they had. I believe it was $1,225. So we're going to put down 1,225. We're going to go down here. We only put this in once. Additional cost for alterations and repairs. There's no additional cost at this particular time in addition to that. And at this particular point, there are no comments that we have. So we're going to go up here, choose today's date, and I'm going to approve this. And in this case, I'm going to go to the plan review, which I did do already. I am going to approve that. Today's date. And lastly, we're going to do final review. Now, there may, in some instances, be a addition to scope of work, which will require additional inspections. So you can go back to the prior version of the required inspections and update that. Another option would be under my plan review, I could have added some conditions of approval that required these additional. I could have put something to the effect of soffit inspection or ceiling inspection required, ceiling cover inspection rather. In this particular case, I'm not going to do that because the scope of work did not include anything that wasn't included previously. So we're going to save this. It says yes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to that permit. Now keep in mind this is not its own permit. So as we search through here, it's an amendment to this particular building permit here. And currently their balance is 0. Now there is a cost associated with building permits. The cost is a minimum of $50, and depending on the number of sheets reviewed, we charge $10 per sheet. In this case, I'm going to just assess a $50 permit amendment fee. So we're going to go here and add fees. It's the one that looks like the little scan. So we're going to go down here and we see interior amendment addendum fee. There's only one amendment, so we're going to put in one. And then we're going to put permit amendment, and then I will put today's date, and that is set. And as you can see, that automatically added the cost of $50. So now a $50 balance is due. Now, let's say it was an entire set of drawings and 25 of them were revisions. I could come over here, put down 25, and as you can see, it automatically charges $10 per sheet. In this case, the changes were really only on one sheet, so I'm not going to have an issue with just charging the basic total. And then we hit save. So now as we go down, they have a balance due of $85. There was a plan check fee that was assessed to this, which I'm unsure why. So that's not, well, I suppose the plan or application fee, we're already paying an application fee of $50 for the amendment. So I'm going to modify this and apply a I'm going to go back up here to the scan symbol. And I'm going to issue a credit of $35. Plan check fee added incorrectly. Save that. And our balance now is at $50. So we're going to go up here. We're going to send out a notification. And we're going to send this like a typical pickup. I'm going to go down here to this. I'm going to send it to the owner and the owner, and I'm going to send it to Bobby Prinster as well. Here we go. Save. I'm going to copy myself. Save. And down here in the message, I'm going to mention that this is for permit amendment to BU 19-000-378. Preview it. can see it does have that up here. Looks good. And send. So now they will receive that. Once they make their payment, we will issue that as we typically do with any other building permit. We will, however, generate a document when we do issue this, print out the receipt, and an amendment permit. So this will generate a permit amendment form, and we will do that in a subsequent lesson.